as you can see, we had actually a total of only 163 who participated, and of that, only about 135 actually completed it to the end, because I guess, toward the end, the questions were a little bit tougher. And you can see here, there are, 14.1% were professional societies, organizations of people, of professions, and then more than 70% were nonprofits. So this is the kind of a little background of the people that took the survey. And so, so this survey only looked at the 135 that completed all the way to the end, because this is a preliminary report. The survey closed on the 30th of September, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to go look at everything, because that's the caveat here. So I decided, instead of complicating my life, I'm just going to take those who, actually completed the survey. So, as far as where they're coming from by sector, you'll see that most of those who completed the survey were from the higher education institutions. And then you have, following that, K-12, government agencies. Okay, so those are the top three that filled in the survey. And then the bottom few were from business and industry and social services, and a couple from green design. Okay, and then there were other. So who are the others who didn't feel that they fit into any of these sectors? Conservation or restoration, consulting, environment, history. Not quite sure what that means, but I'm just putting that. A lot of environmental education groups, which some of them either felt that they belong to all these categories, or they are somehow affiliated with all of them, or none of them. In a sense that they felt that they were a separate group. And then a couple of folks from private foundations and residential environmental science centers. So those are the folks that are responding to the survey. Who do they serve? So you can see largely K-12 educators. That's the highest among them. And then the K-12 students came next, and then undergraduate students third. And then you can see the rest. So fairly, we kind of got a fairly even spread of folks being served across the other categories. Of course, we have all of the above as well. So, and then as far as other, so again, adult learners, some serve actually earth education centers. Then there are some that serve industries, medical students, NGOs, non-formal educators. So, okay. As far as the networking, who do we currently connect with? Who do we plan to connect with in the next 3 years? So, the darker green is the current, right? And the lighter green is who we plan to connect with. So you can see that in all of the cases, everybody intends to have more plans to expand those connections in all across the board. Obviously, again, the highest was K-12, so everybody wants to work more with K-12. Quite interesting for me was the little bit of a jump in the media part and the business and industry part. So that was kind of interesting. It was still low, but there was a bigger jump than, for example, in K-12. So that more of us feel that that's we want to do more with the media and business and industry. So I thought that was interesting. And public health, you can see that was a bigger sort of increase there as well. So what about other networks? So there were a lot of responses as far as, we want to work with education departments, state networks. Earlier, I think Jim Elder mentioned that there were a lot of states that are into environmental literacy planning, about 30 or 40 states, so this is what that's about, the No Child Left Inside. There are also folks working with networks of environmental consulting firms again, and also some folks were talking about their own campuses or across departments. So there was a question earlier about silos within higher education. So good news there that some folks are thinking about that. And then others are thinking about student-centered partnerships. So again, the students in the room, you're asking about what about us? What about encouraging the students to take some roles? So there are some that are thinking about that. Okay, so the next question, sorry about the white. Yeah, okay. So this is about what your activities are. So we had the networks, and now here are your programs, right, and your plans. So again, how much of this activity is incorporated in the current programs, and how much of it will be incorporated in the future. So 1 to 5, you can see what the numbers mean. So as far as we had for those of you who didn't take the survey, we had a whole long list really of things that we thought would be interesting to find out. People paying attention to any of these. So the first one was ensuring that environmental literacy is an outcome for K-12 education in general. Okay? And so you can see, well, currently, you know, kind of middle of the ranking that is a priority, right? But it's also going to be increasing, okay? Then incorporating environmental literacy in preparation for responsible citizenship. So that's a little less, but still up there, okay? And projected to increase in the next 3 years. Ensuring that environmental literacy is an outcome for K-12 STEM education. So you have the result there. Again, it seems to be more important here, right? From 3.14 to 3.81 as a priority. Ensuring participation of minority and underrepresented audiences. Okay, so there's again quite a big leap forward. People are recognizing that as a priority for the next 3 years. Building horizontal pathways, pipelines that connect programs to others in the same age group. Okay, so that's pretty high up there as well. Building vertical pathways. So again, you know, from one program at a certain age level to another age group. For example, between K-12 and undergraduate. So again, you know, currently that's not as much of an attention, but poised to grow in the next 3 years. Incorporating environmental literacy in preparation for future careers overall. So that's another area. And you can see, you know, I've kind of ordered these in order of the current priorities. Okay, so just go real quick. Incorporating environmental literacy in preparation for future STEM careers. Okay, so you can see that. Again, you know, people are paying attention to these, and this is a good sign. Over the next 3 years, people are paying attention to how we can actually weave environmental literacy into a variety of different things. Technology, outcome for college education, advocating more funding to support K-12, and advocating more funding to support the college level. So I guess the college level one was not as much attention, primarily because of the respondent, right? Most people are currently working in K-12. So, kind of backtrack, you see that the top there, the highest current was other. So what are the other? Okay, so here are the other. It kind of came up top, obviously, I guess, because that's for these groups, this is their primary attention. So, improving interdisciplinary environmental and energy programs on campuses, conducting research, I felt was an important activity, developing non-formal certification, workforce development type programs, early childhood programs, providing comprehensive information about ecology and natural resource management in an attractive and engaging way, fostering environmental literacy through family setting. Some folks here mentioned the early childhood and family here in this room as well. So there are others out there who are already thinking about that, and doing things. So needs, what are our needs? Okay, so other came up highest, well, you know, so what are the other? Software training, how do you extract data? GIS training, increased coordination, okay, that's felt to be a need. Support for educational technology on campuses. Okay, I think this was coming up from somebody who said that technology support was being cut, so you know, you don't have people to really help with developing the technology piece. So, and of course the highest need was access to funding, so no surprise there, I guess. But research on impacts came up pretty high, so that was interesting. I think people really thought they needed to have that solid evidence, not just to say that, hey, you know, we know it works, but to actually have evidence that it does work. So that came out pretty strong. Okay, so, and some of the other needs that were mentioned, support from administration at all levels, including, you know, from the federal to, you know, things like school boards, okay, so support. So again, effectiveness studies that measure real impact, info on how to network outside the school system, and how to incorporate environmental literacy into standard curriculum. Okay, So what are the top environmental issues? So this question had to do with some of the topics. We wanted to know how much of these topics, okay, are being incorporated right now. And so there was a ranking. Everybody was asked to rank these 5 things in order of priority, how much of this is being incorporated. And so what I did was I gave it a weighted score. So if you ranked it top, then you had 5 points, right? If you ranked it the lowest, it got 1 point, and I did the weighted score thing. So the average was ecosystem services. It was felt that as a priority for incorporating people are doing that. And then so you can see how, interestingly, environment and human health was 3rd, which was interesting. But at the same time, I'm not sure that we heard too much about environment and health yesterday, but a little bit more, I think, today in terms of some of the discussion here. So that's interesting. Thresholds, tipping points, not quite. Food systems kind of came out last, so that's very interesting. Right? Again, this is a preliminary study, not quite sure why, or but these are the results. Other issues that people talk about, and this is just sort of things that I picked out. Okay, connecting New Yorkers to nature. Other ones, land use change, landscape and cultural history, community sustainability, trying to define that, to identify that, modeling that. That other bullet, I wasn't sure what it was about, but I just wanted to share that with you. Systems-oriented environmental literacy, so that's kind of another sort of topic area. Okay. Then we also asked, well, do you need more information? So, on these topics. Okay, so yes, I need more, or no, I know enough. And so you can see, even though for ecosystem services, really not too many people felt that they needed more information. Okay, in terms of that graph. So that was the #1 thing to remember. For climate change, a lot more. For thresholds, it seems that there is a need for more information on that. So just to kind of give you a picture of where the need for information lies. Okay, what about education issues? So what about, what are the priorities for folks? Okay, so again, I gave them a weighted score. And the first thing that popped up there, the top 2, was ensuring adequate preparation for K-12 teachers and increasing opportunities for student field-based learning. So those are the top ones. And you can see the rest there. Okay, so let me backtrack. So, turns out that technology, increasing access to online or mobile educational technologies didn't quite, get up there. So, not quite sure what that means, right? Since we are going, the 21st century is a technology-rich century, so not quite sure what that means. Oops. And then finally, again, what do you need more information on? So you can see here, folks kind of wanted more information about increasing opportunities for student field-based learning. That was kind of high up there. Let's see, aligning education with workforce and career development also was quite high up there. And ensuring adequate preparation of K-12 teachers, and promoting the interdisciplinary learning experiences. So this is kind of give you a snapshot of the data that we got. But again, like I said, I didn't really have a whole lot of time to fully understand what I'm seeing, but I did want to share this with you, and so hopefully, that kind of gives you an overall picture of where the community out there stands.